weekend, maghaharap ang top 2 offensive team sa NBA, ang defending champion na Golden State Warriors at ang Oklahoma City Thunder. Gustong agawin ng Thunder sa Warriors ang trono nila, habang ang Warriors naman gustong maagaw ang superstar player ng OKC na si Kevin Durant. For more on this exciting matchup sa Chesapeake Arena, kasama natin ang basketball blogger na si Adrian D. Adrian, welcome back to The Score.
Thanks for having me.
First time you're on the news set.
I know.
Okay.
Very nice.
Tinanda namin para sa'yo. Okay. We want to talk about the possibility of Kevin Durant moving to the Warriors. Pero unahin natin ng konti muna yung matchup. Just a bit. Just your initial thoughts on where they are right now. Nasaan ang Golden State at gaano kagaling din ang Thunder na marami nagsasabi under the radar kasi everybody's talking about the Spurs, the Cavs, and the Warriors. Pero Thunder right there. So,
I think
how do you see
people
this?
kasi have forgotten how good the Thunder are when they're at full strength.
Yun na
The past 2 seasons, wala si Westbrook, wala si Durant, and we've sort of pigeonholed them into a team na first round and out. But this time, since they've been back, parang the Spurs have gotten all the headlines. If it's not the Spurs, it's the Warriors naman. Because of course, they're the defending champions. But then having Westbrook and Durant at the same time, if you watch those games, you're just reminded this is such a dynamic duo.
Correct. And aside from that, Enes Kanter, the trade last year, apparently has worked out for them. The new coach, Billy Donovan, ano yung dalawang elements in a new system and a guy that they really needed to come off the bench and play well at the power forward slot.
What's interesting kasi sa kanila is that before, they had Kendrick Perkins there, and he was there purely for defensive purposes. They
Enforcer lang talaga
and they had the stopper and shooting guard, si Thabo Cephalosha.
Yes.
Right now, when you have either if it's Kanter or Steven Adams in there, and then right now they have Dion Waiters starting at shooting guard.
Right.
So now it's an all-offense lineup that can really hang and put up points the same wavelength as the Warriors and as the Spurs. So when you have that, and then you have Durant and Westbrook pa, you have such a potent lineup that, of course, right now is third in the Western Conference.
And knowing how proud this team is, they're gonna give it their all to try and beat the Warriors. Now, where are the Warriors right now? We know that they almost lost to Philadelphia. That was a wild game. Although the next day around, tinambakan natin yung Knicks nila. But where are they now as a team? They're on pace, obviously, to still try and beat the Chicago Bulls record. Pero looking at how everything's put into place and Steve Kerr back, kamusta ang Warriors ngayon?
I think right now they're really waiting for that all-star break. I mean, of course, Curry and Draymond and Clay will be participating in some of the events in the all-star game mismo. But then, if you look at it right now, when it's a really great opponent, like we've seen them play the Spurs, the Cavs in Cleveland, and the Chicago Bulls, ganado sila. Like, they really go all out, they put up a ton of points, and then they hold all three of them under 100 points. But then when you look at it recently, like their most recent game against the Washington Wizards, they were kind of sloppy. Same with the 76ers, they would turn the ball over. At yun talaga yung problem. I think it's sort of like they kind of played down to the opponent a bit, and especially, but in this case, I mean, against the Thunder, that's a big-time opponent. Sila yung parang huling test nila because people say, beat the Cavs first, they did that, beat the Spurs first, they did that. So the Thunder now talaga are the only remaining challenger kuno to the idea of the Warriors sort of going and breaking that record of the Chicago Bulls.
So we will see. That's a big matchup we can't wait. And of course, in the sidelines of all of this, perfect timing pa talaga. Pinag-usapan, I think nanggaling to sa interview kay Draymond Green. Parang siya yung broach ng idea na, well, we were a pretty good team.
Kailangan player, because if it's the front office, that's tampering.
Okay. Anyway, so that's bawal in terms of NBA rules. So anyway, it's out there now that apparently the Warriors are apparently interested in Kevin Durant to join the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Although obviously, as always, OKC can give him the most money, tama? Okay.
And one more year.
And additional year for security. You need to be secured for Kevin Durant. But anyway, so what can they offer him? Paano ba nila ma-afford ito para kay Kevin Durant?
The Warriors have two ways to sort of acquire him. The first is using the expiring contract of Harrison Barnes, because what they can always do is say, para you guys are not left without nothing, we will talk to Harrison Barnes. If he's interested, we'll sign him to a contract. You sign Durant to a contract, we'll exchange him, we'll throw in some parts also, and then we'll both get something. The other way they can do it is sort of try to find somebody who will take on the contracts of Andrew Bogut and Andre Iguodala primarily. So once you get those two people out, they have sort of enough cap space na you can sort of juggle the numbers a bit, sort of like what the Spurs did when they signed LaMarcus Aldridge. And then they can just say, okay, Kevin Durant, if you want to come play with us, just sign the contract and then you come over here. So it's so dynamic that most of the time when the team is planning for free agency, they have just one option. They sell players away so that they free the cap space.
Yeah.
But the Warriors are so lucky that they're in the position they have 2 ways to sort of acquire Durant if he wants to come over.
Okay.
And when you talk to the GM, of course, he can't come out and say na I want Kevin Durant, but he's been saying na, you know, we're sort of lucky. We won the championship last season ahead of schedule, but we are really always sort of thinking na if worst comes to worst, we can sort of rebuild the team in this specific offseason because nga, we have so many different ways to either free up cap space or to acquire another superstar player.
So in other words, this is not a surprise, by the way, nga pala weekend. Matagal na pala ang plano to. Na alam nila they want to join this year's free agency race.
If you look at, actually, if you go through the internet, as early as July of this past off-season in 2015, there were some rumblings na, hey, you know what, in theory, the Warriors could pick up Kevin Durant if Durant wants to go there. And so as it turns out, malabas na people are saying, if Durant really wants to be on a contending team, his best chance, of course, is to go to the defending
last question,
champions.
before I let you go, bagay ba siya? You're gonna give up key veterans like Barnes, Iguodala, or Bogut. Will he fit with the ball, obviously, in the hands of Curry and Thompson and even Draymond Green? Will he fit in that system?
And that's the biggest question, because if you look at the Warriors, they're a veteran team. They've played together for so long. They know where everybody is when they're doing that free-flowing offense. Taking players out and putting Durant in, on paper, it sounds like a good idea, but if he doesn't fit the system, baka mahirapan sila. They might screw up their great offense.
Correct.
If you look at it right now, they added Jason Thompson to sort of fill the David Lee role last season, and he's barely played because he just doesn't fit in the system na. Paano pa if it's a superstar who expects to get the ball in big game situations like Kevin Durant?
So, well, we will see. We've got 6-7 months to wait till free agency, but
and
for
NBA
now,
Finals first.
And NBA Finals first. Let's see if they get another ring. Should be a lot of fun to watch them on their journey and to see first if they beat the record of the Bulls and then they run for the playoffs, and then maybe we can talk Durant again. But Adrian, always fun having you on. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks also.